To Yes, it's good to know that you are still there listening to Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta. Yes, Citizens Forum this morning. Um, a whole number of security issues across the country. The truth is, there's no state that is immune of threats of different security. If it's not the Badu brothers today, it will be another form of cultist activity. If it's not kidnapping, it will be something else. When we thought we have seen the back of the IPOB crisis or the Niger Delta militants, even the Boko Haram, when we thought they have been decimated, well, another threat crisis appear to be coming up. The headsmen, well, some people are colorizing it, but I still believe criminality is criminality. A crime can be committed by any ethnic group. It depends on the nature of that group or person, so to say. So it doesn't have to be a particular group doing it. A criminal is a criminal. When are we going to see the end of this? This is just there. The other, what people will call chiffering, the small crimes are still there, growing. Armed robbers are still doing their jobs, and other different, whatever they call it, that are against peace in the land. Well, a lot of statements have been made, claims, all pointing to leadership. Names have been mentioned. Some people will target the president, some people will target some people, and well, it's as Tobi, these politicians find a way, comfort zone. I heard one of them saying all this is being sponsored by politicians who've lost the election or politicians who wants to win the 2019 election. But I think these are mere distraction.
Yes.
From
the real issue.
From the real
or
issue.
the issues, as many as they are.
The fact remains that there is so much growing insecurity in the country. This is what we'll be looking at this morning on the Citizens Forum. Dele Ayodo remains my name.
And I am Tobi Joseph. One that is very, very disturbing. Excuse me. One that is very disturbing right now, just like Dele said, is the issue of killer headsmen.
I think that's a better word to
yes,
killer headsmen.
Killer headsmen. They have invaded Benue. Of course, so many pockets of killings in so many other states. Is it Taraba? Is it Jos? Is it Nasarawa? Even Ogun State has not been left behind. Enugu, even Delta, Rivers, and also your states have also had their own fair share. Ekiti State, that is what prompted the Ekiti State Governor, Dele, for coming out with the anti-open grazing law. That exactly is what called for the anti-open grazing law in Benue State that outlawed open grazing of cattle in that particular state. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association have said that they would not accept that law, and that seems to be creating these new attacks in that particular state. And they've said that the only way forward is for that law to be reversed. Now we have a former colonel, or a retired colonel, sorry, on the line joining us to discuss this issue.
Morning, Colonel Ademola Lawal.
Morning, good morning. How are you there?
Fine.
We are doing fine.
Well, jokingly, or seriously, I said it to you. Those of you living in the FCT, you are immune from all this fear and stares of insecurity. Is that so, sir?
No, not necessarily so. We don't live in an enclave. The house is interconnected. So what happens in the fringes or in the provinces or the country still affects our bigger. But don't forget we have families, we have friends, we have everybody, people like you. So your insecurity is also our insecurity.
Colonel Lawal, so many Nigerians are saying this is different insecurity or security issues growing across the country, that the best person or the best group of Nigerians that should give us the solution are military men. At the moment we voted a retired army general in, one would thought we'll have a solution to this. What is happening? Or what do you think is happening?
Well, I think it's a misplaced statement to say that the military has the solution. Actually, it's first of all, it begins with prevention. Prevention is the first step in security. And prevention means, listening to both by, making sure that there is no restiveness, there is no acrimony, there are no, disturbing issues. Don't forget that the definition of security is fear, truth and want, you know, uh, freedom from fear, freedom from want. So once these things are there, definitely there will be insecurity. Right in this country, there's a lot of things to say about. The economic insecurity. People, people have a lot of wants. No salaries are paid. People are not moving. So that's because, first of all, in order to get security right, there must be prevention. It must be prevented. Prevention is the first step of security, which means preventing the cost of security, you know. And that's what we are not getting right. I mean, somebody has not been paid for 12 months and their families, children must go to school, are sent to hospital and health issues and all that, and that's not happening. That makes it agitated, you know. And so insecurity actually is want to make it the first sense is prevented. And so the solution does not solely lie with the military, it lies with, the leaders. And we should provide what's necessary for the society to move on.
While agreeing with you that economic insecurity could lead to this kind of security challenge and problems we have, but one will also quickly remember that we have different security agencies set up to fight this. That their sole responsibility. The police, as it's in the case of the X-Men, when we've been told that many of them are even foreigners who migrated from as far back as far as Mali into the country. So that puts the question about what the immigration is doing, the DSS and the other intelligence agencies. Is this a failure of these security agencies?
Yes, I think so. Yes, yes, we can lay the blame on the adults, their inability to fund. I agree with that.
Hello?
Yes, I think I agree with that.
You
Yes.
agree with that? Okay. Now, talking about intelligence in the country, those of you who've been in the military, what can the country do? Because most times the problem identified is the failure of intelligence. Failure of intelligence. Those of you who served in the military to that high point knows the value of intelligence. How it was. How did we? How are we not getting it right in terms of our intelligence collation and using it for prompt reaction or preventing these kind of issues?
I think there's a disconnect. When you talk of intelligence gathering, there's a disconnect between the society and the intelligence structure. Because, first of all, intelligence must emanate from communities. It must come from the grassroots. Once there's a disconnect between the grassroots or the local communities and the intelligence structure, then definitely you cannot have a free flow. That's number one. And number two, we have also said that even among the security agencies, there is no cooperation. One fighting those corners, each and everyone fighting for influence into some sphere of jurisdiction. And so the free flow and the integration of intelligence are there. And don't forget, when you talk about intelligence analysis, it's an integrative thing. It's a collective effort. Everybody contributes to in a small bit to whole. And therefore, the Center for Analyzing Intelligence is totally broken. It must have a complete and comprehensive intelligence when they are not being coordinated. So we have already said it several times that there is no coordination among different intelligence.
Now, let us go to some fundamentals, Cornell. Uh, does it not appall? It does it not look appalling that a sitting governor or a chief security officer of the state goes cap in hand to Abuja to see the president over a matter concerning the security of his own people? How did we get here, and how can we get out of it?
Well, a lot of argument has been advanced in this country about decentralizing the security system. People have talked about state police, we have talked about all kinds that can actually address issues at the level it emanates. But every state has its own peculiarities. And I think in a situation, there's what they call principle of subsidiarity, which means the local place where the issue arises should be made to and empowered to address it. When you have a centralized system, that the police is controlled from Abuja, and whatever happens must come from the general police, this over centralization is the issue. And I think that the argument that police can never go away until we are able to do something about it. And that's number one. The second part of it is that, when you talk about security, you have to look at completely the command structure and the initiative and all that to come from there, and there must be enough resources within that particular environment to make it in the body to enforce security. You don't have to really always, like the governor has to do, rush to Abuja, seek for support, to seek for resources. That does not accord well with the security. You have to address it, you have to empower the locals to address the issues there. And so I think there's an aberration. Security cannot be too centralized.
Now,
And that's the problem.
now, according to the criminal law, every Nigerian has a right to self-defense. Professor Itse Sage, who is a member of the of the presidency as a chairman of PACAC, has advised Governor Autumn to empower his people to defend themselves. In other words, saying, arm your people to defend themselves. Would that actually work?
Well, that should be calling for anarchy. I think the whole country now and design security architecture afresh to make sure that these emerging challenges are addressed properly. There are levels of security measures. What you can give to the local government, give it to them so that they can address their local problems. When it snowballs from the local level to state and national, it becomes a problem. Therefore, yes, local government and states should be empowered to address their security issues, but it's not about trying to ask the state to do it. No, there must be a structure. There must be a collective way of addressing it in a way that each component knows what to do and is empowered to do it collectively, so that we all know that this is what the structure is and how you can address security of your own local interest. For me, arming locals violates the constitution, and therefore you need to really address it. You need to really address issues. And of course, if you want to avoid addressing it, you can do it through the national assembly. It can be enactments, empowering states to do certain things like a vigilante can be properly, to be able to curb some of these things. Like I keep saying, first and foremost, the first step is prevention. To be able to prevent it, to be able to get adequate intelligence, adequate and reliable intelligence that will feed back to the system in order to mobilize and prevent youth enforcement. So that intelligence gathering that we have said earlier is crucial. And of course, if you want to empower the state to gather information, to relay the information upwards to ensure that action is taken, yes, fine. But the state should be armed on their own and to suspend their will be creating anarchy, and I support that anarchy.
Now, Colonel Lawal, let me also get your thoughts about the position of those who believe that many of these issues we are talking about are deliberately uh, fired on by desperate politicians, opponents of government.
Wow, that's a tough one for me because I'm not too sure of that position. All I know is that there is restiveness in the land. People are agitated about so many issues. There is wealth crisis, there is salary crisis, are not being paid, and a lot of things are going on. And therefore, well, if a politician wants to that and create a problem, who created it? Who created it in the first place? Who created fuel capital in the first place? Who created, a lack of, salaries in the first place? So I think that the system itself, the people running government, first issues of restiveness before they start accusing of opposition of manipulation.
All right, we must thank you, Colonel Ademola Lawal, for joining us on the Citizens Forum, Rock City 101.9 FM. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day.
Okay, that's the position of an intelligence expert, retired Army Colonel Ademola Lawal. He's also a lecturer at the National Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution there in Abuja. Of course, to him, economic insecurity will obviously bring about all these kind of security challenges we are talking. He's also said is a failure, squarely failure of intelligence in the country, that there's a disconnect between and within all the security agencies and intelligences in this country. They are not working together. That's his position. He also positioned that rather than looking for opponents, political opponents or politicians as the cause, we should look inward. Why do we have fuel shortage? Why do you have inability of states and government to pay salaries? All these put together will definitely bring about restiveness in the society, and that's what we are getting. It also challenge government and leadership to do more, empower the states to be able to deal with the situation rather than rushing or running to the federal capital to see Mr. President or the IG for assistance. They should be able to, on their own, first handle the situation. We'll take a break. We also want to talk to one more security expert, Air Vice Marshal, retired Femi Gbadebo. Let's take this break and we'll be back. All right. Yes, thanks for still being there. This is the Rock City 101.9 FM, the voice of the people broadcasting from the radio house at Shiro, Bekuta Citizens Forum. We are looking at the growing menace of insecurity in the land across almost everywhere in the country. Earlier on, we spoke with Colonel Ademola Lawal, retired from the Federal Capital Territory, to get us his opinion. We also have online from Lagos, Air Vice Marshal, retired Femi Gbadebo. Morning and thanks for joining us, sir.
Good morning.
All right, straight. Can I first have your overview of the security situation of the country, considering the different reports you are hearing? Boko Haram, we've been told, has been decimated, but we still have different daily suicide bombing. The killer herdsman menace is going on. The cultist activities, Badu, kidnapping, and not to talk of the what people want to refer to as the simple thievery going on across the land that has made almost every Nigerian be very timid, careful, and like frightening by the day.
I think it's politics, simply put. If you recall, at the beginning of this administration, the president and one or two people did mention the fact that corruption would fight back. And when you consider the amount of money or the resources available to classify as aggrieved or unsatisfied politicians, then you can understand how come crisis is being created in just about every different part of the country. There's so much grievance and insecurity. Um, generally, when we look at the way, let's say, children are playing, when someone has a plate of food and the rest of the people want to share it with him or her, I know that there's some problem in this country in the sense that each administration has continued to try to work alone. Whether you win an election or you lose an election, you have both parties have spent money fighting that battle. And at the end of the day, they need to recruit from the party. And when appointments and other things are being done just to favor one particular group, it creates its own problem. I don't know if I've...
No, okay. From what you said, there are other social issues that has resulted into where we are now.
Yes, the social issues. Yes, it's because people are not either being marginalized and talking about those who consider them are brokers, or the fact that they've been completely left out of the game. But another point we must note here is that it's not as if the people are really concerned about the masses. Because if they were, they would not be using the masses as, spoils of war. We're looking at how to make people more comfortable. We have lived for so long in a situation where the rich marginalize the poor. And that's why you find that every time we're about to start politics again, people will start the issue of distributing rights to sums of money. And because you have spent the people so impoverished, a 5 kilo bag of rice makes a big difference. A 5,000 naira makes a big difference in their life. But in reality, the people need to begin to think about who claims to be representing them. Because we can, I'll tell you, all these marauders, all these headsmen, all these Gbadebo, they resist the community. And especially our failure to question people's sources of income is what we are paying for now.
Now, Gbadebo, let's take the case of the killer herdsmen, for instance. Even the Miyetti Allah group security agents have said many of those perpetrating these crimes are foreigners, people who comes in from as far as Niger and Mali are the ones causing this mayhem. And then one will wonder, how did they get into the country? How did they get from Mali down to Benue or Taraba or Jos or Plateau without the security agencies noticing them? What about the intelligence community, the different intelligence agencies that we have, DSS, NIA? What are they doing? What is wrong with the system?
Well, you see, as people, you have what you call certain physical features, which makes it easy for you to identify, let's say, an East African, a South African, somebody from, let's say, Somalia, Ethiopia, and even what I call the Fulani stuff. As long as people look alike and they have a lifestyle, they're wearing cattle, it's difficult for a typical policeman, soldier, or somebody on the road to the difference between the Nigerian headsman and somebody who has come. Those who can make the distinction for us the Fulani that they allow themselves. Now, if what we do in the city, it's easy for us to tell when from you to something. You can see like now, you can see a lot of Okada riders in different parts of the south who you can tell clearly are not local to the area. Their features and their language and so on. It's the same way that, if they want to be honest with Nigeria, and they want to give information to that come. There are some new chaps that are coming. They are not part of us. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you really move from Mauritania to Niger to Chad, as far as Sierra Leone and so on, I can assure you that. I mean, all the way to Rwanda, the Fulani features are the same. You understand?
Yes.
So moving from one, especially for those nomadic, it's easy, and they're not actually the same. It's like you find Hausa is spoken in wide areas of North
Africa.
Africa. The same thing with Yoruba in West Africa. So on. So it's difficult really for you to hold authority, responsible for this. I would say it is a people themselves. I mean, it's like Nigerians living in London or New York, that participating in some attitude and stuff like that. But people who should be able to act inside them. But those who are living on them. Now, if they don't look at observation and the community, all of them are doing bad, then who's to blame?
Now let's try and localize it. We have what we call chief security officers of states who are supposed to be governors. The Benue issue, for instance, the governor has to move to Abuja. It takes the president to ask the IG to move from Abuja to Benue. This system, linked with the so-called cry over restructuring, what so many people will say, will point to it as these are the facts on ground, these are the simple solutions to all this problem. Do you agree with this, or what's your position?
Well, you see, we inherited an administrative structure from the masters, which, I mean, as a secondary school, late 60s. And you had a situation where we had a police force centralized in Lagos with 4 commissioners in Kaduna, Ibadan, Enugu, and Lagos. Those are the 4 who handled the security all over Nigeria. And then we started to grow. We created so many states. We could now have, I'm sure we probably have close to 70 or so commissioners of police already. So the truth is that the commissioner today does not have the power that that the commissioner in 70 had. But instead of instructing ourselves to stop with that, we still think that everything should be centralized back to Abuja. There are fears in some sectors that allow the governor to take control of the police and to do whatever they like. But then if he loves that, I think he must have some power to do certain things. So what we have now is a situation where, yes, the commissioner is with the governor, but there are some instructions that the commissioner must get approval from higher authority to deploy. So, what process that takes a bit of time, and when we have to wait, and then there's a law that says also the police at a structure, the commissioner of police, let's say in the state, has to officially inform the governor this is beyond my people, me and my people, before I'm bringing in the military. Again, the military commander on ground cannot deploy without getting approval from the entire authority. So ideally, the whole process could be speeded up a little bit, but they need to really sit down and look at what they're talking about. Because now, if you move IG to Benue, something comes up in another part of the country, you move the same IG. Now, what's happening in Abuja? And so we must understand the true meaning of separation of power and delegation of responsibility. I think we must get to that stage where authority can be given to either an AIG or somebody in that area to do what the IG will do. He's in direct contact with the man, and then let folks that we begin to understand this.
Even Gbadebo, as a soldier, I know we will have long-term solution, but what do you think should be the immediate solution to this herdsmen crisis and the other insecurity in the country?
Well, you see, if we are to be honest about it, following the Atianla to come and discuss this issue, we're missing out a key ingredient. My relationship with headsmen from the north proves that there are two levels of headsmen. There are those who own cattle, and there are those who head this cattle on behalf of what I would
Other people.
Nigerians. And I'll tell you, there are Nigerians who have discovered that it's a very tidy way of making money. You just give X number of cows to some headsmen. They are very loyal, they are very smart people. They can run all over the states with your cows, but at the end of the year, and you are not even paying them a salary, because there's an understanding whereby, for every new cows that are born, they get one or two. So if the man takes 20,000 youth, and over a season, instead of having 5 or 10 of his own, why you understand? So we also need to figure out who are the owners of this cow. So, because they must be brought out, they must also get involved in this discussion because they have control. And then we must begin to figure out how do we come up with a new arrangement. And so let's talk about and just talking about other things. In America, the time we had cowboys running all over the place and so on. People have that's the beginning of town, but then just providing everything that the livestock, their food and all that. I think those are the things that we need to sit down and work out. And it's not something we go
we lost connection to Evers Michelle Gbadebo. All right, we'll have to go on a break for the national news, and then when we come back, we'll still try to see if we can get in touch with Evers Michelle Gbadebo. But if not, we will throw open the studio line so that you can be part of the discussion. Stay with us, we'll be back.
All right, yes, we are back on this 11th day of the month of January, Thursday, 2018. Citizens Forum, Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM. Yes, we are looking at the increasing rate of insecurity across our lands. Earlier on, we spoke with two security experts, former soldiers, retired Colonel Ademola Lawal of the National Institute of Peace and Strategic Management in Abuja, and Air Vice Marshal retired Femi Gbadebo. We'll straight on open the telephone lines and let's get what you think, your reaction to those two interviews, contrasting position you may want to say, while Colonel Lawal does not see a direct link between politicking and the different insecurity, or would prefer people not looking to solve it from that direction. Rather, he believes it's an economic issue, remote cause, and of course failure of leadership and the intelligence committee. That wasn't the position of ABFM Gbadebo. He believes politicians are involved in this. The war of corruption, according to him, will also be a factor, and says trying to nip the nomadic nature of the Fulanis who are coming from across the West African sub-region will be a very difficult thing for the security agencies to deal with, particularly if you look at the look-alikes in all features between the Nigerian Fulani ethnic group and those of the other land. That could become very difficult for them to actually stop. But he also believed that empowering the local security, the governors and other security people will also help in solving the matter. So what is your own position? 08098687344 and 09091469670 remain the two telephone numbers to use.
You can also reach us via the short code 32120.
Yeah, my name is Ursula Johnson. Yes. On the basis of not being able to recognize these Fulani as they can be recognized, they are just like the Yoruba stuff also. You can differentiate between the Ijesha and the woman.
Is that so?
People that come from other countries, some of them don't understand the Fulani, Nigerian Fulani speak, and they cannot even speak also a good Hausa. So by so doing, you know that these are foreigners and we can differentiate them. What we lack, as the other day that said, is proper intelligence. These intelligence agencies are not energizing to be able to give the country proper information to know who is coming in and who is going out. Until we do that, we will continue having them and we say we cannot control them. We can control them. Let them sell their markets at the border. Let's create a market for them. Free market zone, their cattle is there, sell their markets and then go back to their country where they are coming from. It is obtainable in other countries. Why can't Nigeria also do the same thing? Good morning, Nigeria. God bless our country, Nigeria. God bless Rock City. Good morning.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Let me quickly remind us. Morning, we are not just talking about the killer herdsmen. We are looking at the general insecurity. Good morning across the land.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tobi.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Basala, Belkuta. As a speak from the resource and personal sense of nation, most especially the following. First, that economy insecurity is the baseline of the totality of the unrest in the country. He has not really sadness and concern on this. This is where leadership that will brought us into intro becomes up here. The leadership should constantly remember social contract. A word is not for the West. There is pent-up feeling all over, bottled up feeling. And people want to vent this on the society. The society is so harsh and fast becoming the rule of the jungle. The spontaneity, sporadic and endemic nature of this crisis is not that again a failure of security intelligence as you have highlighted. It was not like this before because our security agencies were noted for being proactive, reactive and responsible. Not that bad politics cannot be wished away in this scenario. Our intelligence gathering must improve and various agencies must work together. The newly appointed director of NIA is coming now at the right time and must put this into shape and collaborate with other agencies. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir, for joining us. Okay, we can also add your voice to the discourse this morning.
My brother, my name is Big Daddy, calling from Adena Way. Mr. Dele, I have only one question. If the IG relocates to Kaduna or where, what will happen to the state, Osun State, and other 35 states? That is number one question. If security in Nigeria are becoming another thing, why are we going where there is no rule? This people that is coming is because of how we handle the people in Nigeria. Let them come in to be having power over us, killing and destroying. And we say that we are in a Nigeria that belongs to us. and for everybody. We become a refugee here if you don't know. Have a nice day.
09014699670. Good morning. Somebody, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kom.
Thank you for calling.
This issue has multiple. Let nobody talk of faith, headline, Hazard Fulani and all that. You see, most happen that when you use the word Hazard Fulani tribe, they extend from Cameroon to Mali. It's not in Nigeria that you have Hazard Fulani. You have that in fact, is it the largest group too in Africa? Population, yes. So that's number one. Number two is that we have problems with climate. Their sons, like in used to feed them, cannot feed them again. So they have to move away. Climatic conditions have changed. So there's a movement, a mass movement to where they can take a living. And things happen. It happened in Sudan. It's nothing new. It's only that Nigerians have been sleeping. It happened in Sudan, North and South Sudan, which are having problems up to now because of this movement, because of the accounts and all that. Number three is that the destabilization of Libya, Tunisia, Egypt has caused a migration of people who are armed, who are trained by ISIS, by whatever, now coming back home. And as someone suggested, most of those Nigerians who are coming back from Libya, the so-called people who wanted to cross the Mediterranean, are ISIS fighters who escaped after being crushed in the Middle East. They are coming back home. Some of them are houses from other, maybe ISIS coast, from Mali and all that. They are migrating to Nigeria, which is a better ground. So the issue is not a Nigerian problem. That is why we see America going to fight in North Korea. The thing will not concern them. But because they know when you have a destabilization somewhere else, it cascades down. Nigeria should be big enough now to make sure that other some African countries are stable, both in food production, both in politics, and both in everything, so that you don't have their mass movement to Nigeria. It's not these things are calculated. It's not a new thing and all that. But the Nigerian issue is a different kettle of fish entirely. You said the other time that someone came on the studio and said the Fulani said that if you offend them, they will not forget. Are they just doing it today? So that particular aspect of the Fulani is just today. What happened 10 years ago? Were they not coming to revenge? Something is wrong somewhere which you have not got it. I don't want to take that as an excuse because if you offend them after 40 years they come back. No. Something is happening because the Fulani have always Fulani. So it couldn't have been that I acquired that attribute just yesterday. Something is wrong. We are not looking at the issues as we reality Dele. We are calling Hazard Fulani and forgetting that they are people who are just terrorists and people who are just lawless people all over. Remove religious connotations. Remove tribe. Let us face that issue. When you remove that, then you won't have all this confusion all over the place. And that's what thank
you very much. Alright, thank you. Something is definitely wrong. What that
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gbadebo.
Thank you, sir.
You hear me, sir?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay. We are talking about security, sir.
Yes, sir.
Myself, you see, I'm a retired soldier out in Nigeria Civil War. During the war, when we capture a place, we make all our defense so that the enemy will not come back to the territory again. But this time, after Nigeria will come to Boko Haram territory, they will go away, Boko Haram will get out to come back again to that very place. Why can't you not make all our defense so that they will not get out to come back again? That is my question.
Thank you. That's somebody said he's been involved in the war. Hello.
Let's talk between ourselves. All these are enough for other countries.
What is your name, sir? What is your name, sir? What is your name, sir? All right, you can call back. Hello, good morning.
My brother, good morning. My name is Kazim.
Thank you.
The problem is because we have politicized everything. I will go by the first caller. The economics of Nigeria is most of the problem that it causes most things. And secondly, is leadership. Let's go by the area of maybe in township or in a state. where we want to appoint a monarch, my brother, we are going by politics. We refuse to do the right thing, put the right person at the right pair. That is where we are getting it wrong. That is everything. That is the problem, my brother. Because we have politicized everything. Everything is now about politics.
All right, Kazim, thank you for joining us. You can call back. We've lost that contact. Somebody else is there. Good morning. Switch off the radio in 1 second, please.
Yes, I've done that, sir.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, your name?
Yes, my name is Bala Lokoja, calling from Ilara, sir. I've been following the talk this morning, and what we are facing this country is we change the Fulani direction. We have been living together peacefully. Exactly, nobody knows what's happening now. Some people attributed the headman clash because Buhari is a Fulani man, which I disagreed entirely. The headmen too has their own problem. The anti-grazing law in Benue was set out to protect both the headmen, Fulani, and the farmers. Hello, sir.
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. You are still on.
Okay. Exactly what is happening, most of the states now have emulated such law, like the state, to ensure that this reigns between the Fulani and Rebel. Let me take an example of my state, Kogi State. The president is going to individualize the Fulani to be part and parcel of the UK people, and which will go a long way to ensure peace among the herdsmen Fulani and the farmers. And if actually such a thing is simulated by other states, I think peace will reign in this very country. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Hello, somebody. Let's start this call. We switch over to check the messages. Good morning. Somebody is there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ayodo and Mr. Joseph. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You have mentioned that the I've listened to all the previous caller, and the little thing I just want to say is that we all know that this problem of Philip excellence, it is going on because most of us were even born. I was in secondary school about 46 years ago, and we also were taught how these people migrate seasonally to greener pasture in the south. But no government, no head of state from that time, or 50 years ago, had a plan to see how the increased population in the north will affect this sector. And just the way we didn't plan for how to refine our crude oil here, where our population is around 50 billion, the same problem we are having is what we are having in this sector. So, in the fact, no simple president in Nigeria has addressed this issue. Shagari didn't address it, Obasanjo didn't address it, Jonathan didn't address, and this man in power is not addressing it. So it is now left to all of us to see that we bring this thing to a complete end. This thing cannot continue. There's global warming is affecting vegetation in the north, but if there is sincerity, the Sambisa forest is larger than the eastern part of the country. Just take your map and take it. There is no way you can say there is no green land in the north. That Sambisa forest can accommodate up to 20 million status according to people who have been there. They have water, they have forest, they have grass, and other things that are suitable for
approaching 2 minutes.
Because of terrorism, that is why we are having this. Terrorism is the bottom line we are having this problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's quickly do justice to the short code messages and of course the tweets. Ademola Roberts tweeted this: Good morning, Nigerians. I'm beginning to lose hope for a better Nigeria because of surging insecurity of lives and properties. I saw what happened in Taraba State. The image was too graphic that I couldn't retweet it. The IGP must be blamed first for insecurity before blaming Buhari. These guys don't seem to understand the country's state of affairs. The issue of insecurity how people are suffering. Things are getting worse day by day. Well, all they are after is how they will return in 2019. Nigeria is deeply in a leadership crisis. With the level of insecurity in Nigeria now, I'm sure and convinced that we need state police. Most rural areas in Nigeria has been neglected long ago. No local government chairman, hence the high rates of insecurity. The state governors are a major problem when it comes to underdevelopment in the rural areas. This must also be addressed. So Ayodo tweeted this: the security situation in the country is so terrible. The government has always been reactive instead of being proactive as regards security matters. We have always waited for things to happen before looking for a way out. Until the nomenclature is changed, we are heading nowhere. Nigeria needs to be restructured and power decentralized. The center is too powerful and almost all security apparatus lies in the hands of the federal government. Until this is done, the country will find it difficult to sustain economically, politically, and security-wise. Someone tweeted this: everyone should raise their voice against the herdsmen killing. Shame to all Buhari and APC fans that keep quiet at this killing. I was also a Buhari supporter. Ayodo once again: it seems governments want to play kite with the lives of Nigerians. I just read a headline disclosing how many people that were killed by herdsmen under GJ. I say this government is irresponsible to the plight of Nigerians, but only God will see us through. Abimbola says the act establishing the various security agencies expressly make provisions that the Commissioner of Police, Commandant of the NSCDC, Director of DSS, Controller of Immigration Services can take orders from the state governor. Also, the agencies being federal is no excuse. Most of the state governors are not providing adequate logistics and motivation for these agencies to cooperate or operate effectively. They should do the needful. Establishing state police cannot be the solution. It will further create problems looking at the ethnography and social structures of Nigeria. A Yoruba man will not serve in state police service of Kaduna. It will create anarchy. The state governors will only be using the state police to achieve their political needs. Proactive measures is what is needed to tackle the menace of Fulani herdsmen and other security challenges. We should not wait until the house is put down by the wind before we start mending walls. Those are tweets from Muideen Abimbola. Yemi Phillips Da Vinci tweeted this: there's a difference between Hausa people and Fulani people. It is only Fulani people who are spread across Africa from Fota Dalton Mountain in Mali to Central African Republic. It took only about 10% of Germans who are Nazis to bring the world to its knees. These herdsmen are mostly Fulanis, even if they are 1% of the Fulani population. Why are the larger majority not calling them to order? Didn't we ask Igbo leaders to do the same with IPOB? The silence of our consultative forum over this herdsmen issue is very deafening. If it was to harass a president that is not from Northern Protectorate, they will speak. The truth of the matter is simple. No solution you propound to insecurity in Nigeria will stick until we restructure the country and have state or regional police. Security is local. Those are from Yemi Da Vinci. Unique Adebayo tweeted this: why is it that the government don't take things serious until it seems to be getting out of hand? Have they forgotten that this insecurity affects the whole state? Proper measures should be taken in all the states now. Samuel 63 tweeted this: a state made law to protect the people, and the business group said that it will not be possible, and the next thing is to start killing people. Until this moment, the chairman of that group is working free. Which kind of government is this? Akoide Camille tweeted this: there's no doubt that a lot of measures need to be put in place to resolve insecurity in the country. I listened to the two people that spoke on this issue, but there has to be new security policies, thinking and strategies to be developed. Security is local. The kingdom of heaven suffering violence and the violence taking it by force. So Boko Haram won't have uh, not having force to this level if Bono governor had state police. Kudos to Governor Farashi for using hunters. You should have OPC also as help. Unique Adebayo Twitter on this once again. Boko Haram started like this before graduating to this level. Headsmen must be curbed now. We will blame Buhari because Buhari is the one in charge of this country. Security of this country is collapsed already. It is now for everyone to prepare to defend themselves because these headsmen have been okay. And the ladder reports once again, assessment is a fair 2017. We're hoping to see a good and best 2018 by this administration. According to Cameron says, government and the people need to develop trust and work together to resolve the insecurity situation for us to move forward. Improving economic growth and development is also key to solving insecurity issues. Major intelligence gathering is all we want. Alright, so let's check out the shortcut messages. Capital No. What is the Constitution about? Is the height of insensitivity. Is it not constitutional for workers to be paid their legitimate salary, yet workers are being owed? Dr. Ayodo apparently reacting to the quick take earlier. There's a constitutional right available to them, yes, but this is an issue of empathy. If they can feel enough for Nigeria to donate their pensions, then so be it. There are beggars around you, but as a pensioner, did you give up your pension because you have something to eat? Kwelubi Famota also sent that one because of the talking about the quick takes rather. Dr. Chris Omotosho says people are emotional, agitated, and protesting against the action because the masses are hungry and can't meet their own needs because the government seems far from the masses. The timing is wrong, maybe. And this one from Ikechuko Olisa says, let's say the truth so that it can set us free. This government is deaf and cannot hear the cry of the people. They believe that whatever they do or say remains the best solution. If Donald Trump could have been the president of this country, something serious could have happened to those criminal gang. So let PNB declare war on those terrorists and stop being a tribal leader. Alright, that's it for the messages and tweets. A whole lot of them. Keep sending your messages to 32120 and at Vox City FM is our Twitter handle. Let's go back to the calls.
From Akinali. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are with you.
Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Okay. My contribution is the heading is Nigerianization is the answer. I repeat, Nigerianization is the answer. Now listen, if people were given for inducement and incentives for living in states than their state of origin, chauvinism would have been laid to rest forever, and then insecurity would be placed beside that chauvinism, full stop. Then what I would suggest is that the federal government should make addition to the functions of personal national ID card. Now, federal underlined government should acquire a large number of buses and large size trucks to be distributed appropriately to the 36 states, allocate relatively huge amount of money to the health sector to include highly efficient waste disposal system, superlative medical laboratory equipment, and use Arrow Psychiatric Hospital as model for such others. Build automobile repair workshop in all state-owned secondary schools, which are in the rural areas, and back them up with steady power supply.
You are approaching 2 minutes, sir.
Well, let me stop. I'll send my message to
the short code 32120. Thank you. Send it to 32120. Hello.
Good morning.
Your name, sir?
Good morning.
This is Taiwan, nobody from Captain area. Yes. This situation is embarrassing. You see, these herdsmen, these Fulani herdsmen, went to Dele State. I mean, they were angered by autumn against their grazing there. And I can't blame autumn. The cattle stay fast on yam. You know, there are plenty of yam. Crops there. They grew at night and they decided to bombard that state. What can we do? They're all over the country. When I was in primary school, in the late 40s, we used to see this all over the villages. But then they were not eating up crops. But think about now developed to such days. Most of them are not from Nigeria. How do we decide that? So I want to call traditional rulers, our back, to wake up now. Let up the local hunters against these people. Let's bombard them. Let's send them away. Send them away before they destroy what they call farming.
All right.
Before they kill our wives, kill our farmers, kill everybody. They have declared war on Nigeria, and Nigeria will declare war.
Thank you, sir. Your 2 minutes. 00986-673 will only be able to take 2 calls. Check the messages. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, in the house. We are talking about...
You need to switch off the radio quickly, sir. In 1 second. Do that.
Okay, my name is Mr. Jabo.
Mr. Debo, the radio is also important. Again, switch it off.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, is it okay now?
All right.
Okay. And the issue of insecurity in this country, the relocating of Inspector General of Police to Benue State is not the problem. If we relocate Inspector General of Police to Benue State, if anything happens in another state, where are we going to relocate the Inspector Police to? What we need to do now, we have to be watchful. And these people, they get where they enter this country with how many can now come, and they are not the right and they are killing our people, destroying our properties. It's supposed to be so. Look at this politician now. They are talking of timetable of 2019. They don't talk of security. So they are for themselves. We should pray because God will help us in this country. Because we don't know where we are going yet. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. And the final call for the day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
This is Alan calling from Ayodo.
God bless you.
I get in very lately, but I have been able to get the clue of what is being discussed. But I have this opinion that to address this issue of insecurity emanating for the cattle areas, our leaders have a major role to play. They have been accommodated by the so-called Obas and the leaders in all the local areas. And I can vouch that some of them, they hide under these people to rear these cattle in the larger community. So it is becoming a problem to address what emanates from this cattle rearer. So the leadership, the traditional leadership, the local leadership needs to do the needful
in order for us to get it right. It is because their hands are there. No one knows whether they have the hand in the killing or not, because they equally have those items we are talking about. So it will be difficult for us to address, except they agree with whatever things that is passionate out to address that thing. That's the only way we can get out of the problem. Thank you and God bless you.
All right.
Thank you. All right, so let's check out the shortcut messages once again. This one says, good morning. Let the IGP relocate to Cross Rivers to rescue the kidnapped female doctors and to Ikorodu to handle Badu calls. We don't have a responsive and responsible leadership. Security is in a collapse state with all retired military personnel in government. Kaldi from Randa sent in that one. This alarming rate of insecurity in some part of the state caused by these so-called nomadic farmers called the headsmen. The whole scenario started like a joke, but now it has already spread like wildfire, which has spread to neighboring states, thereby causing fear and grief in the heart of many. But the truth of the matter is that the security agencies can be omnipotent, but I will indulge the government to pass the bill of done good justice over these perpetrators who hide under the canopy of headsmen or nomadic farmers. By taking this step, I know it will help to reduce this trend. Amos from Oduero sent in that one. All right, that's much we can take.
Let's take one more call. Hello. Hello, let's add your voice, your contribution to this 08098673444. Hello. Hello. Yes, please. Okay.
Hello, I'm sure okay.
All right.
My intake in it is that even as it has been, because these people, they are passing from one state to another, does it mean that there are no grasses for them to graze on? Is it by force that they must enter from one state to another? Please let them manage their state and kill themselves if that should be their own opinion. If they can't live peacefully with people that have accommodated them with every disease, so they should live in their own state. There's no need of going from one place to another and cause havoc to the nation.
All right, thank you.
And causing more hatred from the...
Hello. All right, thank you. And that will be it for the day, Citizens Forum. The last for the week. Tomorrow, the open day. Keep sending the message. It's always good to talk. Dele Ayodo is my name. I say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria and God bless Rock City.
And I'm Tobi Joseph. Have a wonderful day.